Hello everybody, Dibz here, and welcome to the first video of 2020. Now I know it's been a very long time since I have posted, but there have been a lot of things that have been happening, in my life. I went on vacation to Japan and Hong Kong for a few weeks, so that took a lot of time out. And also we've been preparing for moving into a new home. So yes guys, we have bought a home and we are going to be moving into it in the next month or two. So it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of stuff going in preparation for that. So I apologize for not being around and posting as much and being inconsistent, but as we get into it, there's going to be more consistency, and I will get you guys more videos, I promise that. It's going to be starting off 2020 very strong, and we're going to be starting it off with an analysis. What do you know, right? Analysis of Soldier and Tracer. Now, you guys never thought that Soldier was going to come back into the meta. Well, technically he's not really meta yet. Well, according to Blizzard, he might be, and so is Genji too, right? But besides that point, we're going to be doing some Genji, or we're going to be doing some Soldier Tracer gameplay today. It's going to be on Iconworld again. And today our special guest is on Diablo. He is currently mid-diamond hit scan player and trying to hit masters. He normally plays McCree and Tracer, both who are not really in the meta. There was that breaking barriers patch where shields got reduced, and that was very recent. And there's going to be more changes coming through with the AORUS nerf and Diva buffs and all of that. So we're going to see how that shook up the meta and actually if it made a difference. So Soldier is in a little bit of a better place, but we're going to have to see how it turns out. I think Blizzard has different ideas about him than we do. So anyways, let's get it going. It's going to be on Iconworld. First on defense, Soldier. It's going to be pretty tough from what we've normally seen so far, but we're just going to have to see now. Let's see how this goes. So both of you guys' shields are pretty much down already, a little bit far forward for them, or for your team. Your immortality field is down. Kind of want to be a little bit farther back. You guys are down one tank. You guys are pushed really far forward for some reasons. You're down the main shield. You're down both tanks and also a support. So you guys are down 3 right now. So you're trying to not really turn this around, but I guess if you got 2 picks, you guys are still down 3 though. 4 actually. So you're the only one, you're basically the only one here contesting a point. I think you're trying to go for spawns, which is okay, not really. I wouldn't say it's really worth it for you to do that at this point. Taking a look at how much you guys were down at the very beginning of the fight, you guys pretty much already lost it. When you got those 2 picks at the very beginning on the support, that was pretty decent already. And I feel like at that point, when you were on the bridge right here, this was okay, not too bad, right? But you got the Hog and you got the Ashe coming for you. Your team is what you see, the Sigma on your team right here, right? And then you see the rest of your team back here. This is not going to be a winnable fight, all right? Your team basically lost this, and it's going to be really tough for you to kind of come back from it. I would say right now the best thing for you to do is not to try to get another pick on the Zen or respawning Zen or the Ana. I would say the best thing for you to do is to try to get back safely. Try to go back here, maybe go towards this way, or maybe the other direction under tunnel. Basically survive with your life so that you guys can re-engage quickly, because you guys are losing this point really fast. Look at that, it's already halfway, and your team isn't even close to being back yet. So I don't think you guys are going to have another fight unless you contest at the last moment. But even then, you guys are you're gonna end up dying really quickly. So at this moment, you got to figure out, am I going to be able to get out of here alive? And I think you should be able to. I think the Hog used this hook right here. Yeah, so he used this hook right here. And this should be your time to just get out of here, really, because you're still looking for the Zen and you're wasting a little bit of time doing that, and that's precious seconds for you to get out. I feel like you should be out of here. You shouldn't be going up towards this way. So think about it. What happens if you go towards this way? Okay, I think you might be trying to escape, and you can do the jump onto the other house. It's kind of dangerous though, because you're kind of backtracking all the way, and you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot technically you're shooting yourself in the foot for the jump, but you know what I mean. I would rather you just go towards this way. It's a faster way to get to your team, right? Look, your Sigma's right here, your AORUS is right here, right? Got some health, right? The only person that's shooting you right here is the Hog. You're getting your health. I would wait until you get full health, crouch, and then back up towards the other way, because the Hog doesn't have a hook anymore. He can't really stop you. But right now, when you're going up here, even if you did make it out alive, even if you did make it out alive, you're going to be like right there, and you're going to be kind of stuck there. Like the Hanzo's going to be shooting at you, the Ashe can get up to high ground. You're going to be kind of stuck if you're up there. So I feel like the best way is to kind of just hide for cover just for a little while, and then run back towards the other direction. You don't have to keep going the same direction you're looking. And then that's what I feel like. You're kind of tunnel visioning when you're in that fight. So try to find better ways. Try to reset a little bit earlier so that your team can fight early next time. Yeah, it would be better for you guys to fully regroup. See, now that you guys lost the fight, you guys are here. You got 3 people. 3 people coming from spawn. So I would be careful right here. So you got 3 people who died right here. So if you take a look, so you died, Ashe died, Orisa, Sigma, and also I think everybody is spawning right now. Literally your entire team is spawning. So the enemy team knows that, right? If the enemy team knows that your team is spawning, you're going to be the only one up here that they're looking at. And with the Hanzo on the enemy team, and also Zen on the enemy team, and Anne on the enemy team, and also a Hog on the enemy team, like 4 of these people can, well, not 4 of them, all of them, but Hanzo can one-shot you. You can get hooked by Hog. Zen can throw Discord on you, and I can also shoot you at the same time. They're not going to worry about the rest of your team. They don't have to. So if all of them are looking your way when you pop your head out, you can easily die. So I would be very careful. Be very, very careful when poking out when the rest of your team is coming, because they know they're dead, right? You're going to be the only one up here kind of poking. A lot of headshots. A lot of headshots. Oh, that just sounds so good. But I noticed that you aren't using Bloom, and also you're not shooting 6 maximum and then resetting for half a second and then shooting again. It's important to know this. Every 6 shots that you shoot, the first 6 shots are going to have perfect accuracy, and then after that, it's going to start opening up. Your crosshair is going to start becoming more inaccurate. So you want to shoot 6, then let go of the trigger for half a second, and then shoot again. And if you keep doing that over and over and over again, your 6 shots are always going to be perfectly accurate. So right here, those few shots right there that kind of start spreading, those could have been headshots. So I feel like it's really nice for you to kind of like get in the habit of shoot 6, let go, shoot 6, let go, and shoot 6. It should be something that you automatically do and not really have to think about. You can go into the training area really easily, just test it out, or just try it out and just practice. Okay. Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, but kind of a weird spot for you to be playing here. Ow. Ow, you got logged. Hanzo stuff. Okay, so one thing that you want to be thinking about when you play Soldier is to always poke at weird angles. Always poke at weird angles as Soldier, because you have the ability to move around and do so, right? That's why they call them legs. It's called legs for a reason, because you can run around, you can go from weird angles, you can start shooting from places that people don't really expect. And if you think about it, this is like the most common, or the most sensible, not sensible, but then they expect you to be here the most, because the payload's going this way and your Orisa is here. They're going to expect you to be here, so they're kind of hoping you're going to be standing here. What you can be technically doing is shooting from the side, right? I think what you're trying to do is to get behind the shield of your team, right? Because it looks safe, right? This is a safe shield. You want to stand behind the shield. But first of all, if you were trying to do that, you weren't really using the shield in the first place. So if you weren't using the shield, and also you're standing out in the open and also in front of the enemy team, that's 3 things that are wrong with this position. In front of them, not behind the shield. What did I say? Anyway, few things that are wrong here. You're not supposed to be here, okay? I would rather you go on stay on the high ground on the other side right there where you were before. Or you can even shoot from here. It's a little bit closer. It's a little scarier. Or even you can just drop down to the second floor, and then you might be able to do a little bit of damage from the second floor. It's going to be a little bit hard, because if you drop down here at this moment, if you drop down right here, right? If you drop down on that the second floor at the bottom, it would have been okay, because the payload is kind of moving here, and then by the time you get there, it's moving this way, and you can start shooting from behind. But I think at a certain point, it's already too late. Yeah, right now it would have been okay. Right now it would have been fine. But then when you get to this point, see how the payload is already pushing up here. So if you start going towards that direction right now, then you're gonna be not in sight, right? So now would be too late. Going there now would be too late. And so I would kind of just position position yourself as soldier in an area where the enemy doesn't expect you, not in front of them. And try to always grab high ground as much as possible. This will make it so that you have different angles to shoot at them. Most likely, you know, there's not going to be a shield in front of your face. That's why breaking barriers was a thing, because that's why soldier is bad, because of double shields, right? So you want to be shooting where the shields are not. It's kind of like what Tracer's like. Instead of, you can use your legs to avoid the shields, just like Tracer uses her blinks. Except for you have a lot more range as soldier, and you have a decent capability of doing damage from a medium range. So they bongo down point. I think you guys are communicating because they're just chilling here, right? Yeah. I'm gonna go on the high ground. I'm assuming you're gonna use your visor here. It's a visor move. Nice. Got one. Nice position. Good position. Oof, okay. Couple of things. A decent visor. Not too bad. But I saw a lot of things happening at the same time that you that you probably kind of want to change. So for those of you guys who don't know, you can throw your healing pad down, which is what he did. He threw his healing pad down, used his ult. Very, very good. So in case anybody tries to shoot at him, right? Shoot at him, he can get healed at the same time by his own healing pad. Right? So you shoot. Alright. So I know that you were kind of using your rockets as a reflex, but if you think about it, the timing in which you use your rockets, she was basically like 2 bars, right? She was basically dead, right? There's no point for you to use your rockets on a target while you are using your ultimate, if they are wide in the open, and you're going to kill them anyways with your ultimate, right? Because think about it, if you shoot bullets, each one does 20 damage. I think it's 20 damage now, right? So you would need about 6 bullets to kill a target or do as much damage as a rocket. Rocket does 120 direct. That's if you had a direct too, right? At this range, when you shoot a rocket, it's going to be really hard for you to hit a direct. So it's better, you're better off just shooting all of your bullets into this target and saving your rockets for either A, a target that is behind a wall and you can't do any damage and you want to do splash damage, or B, a target that is very close to you that you can hit direct with. And because the thing is, at a really, really far distance, right? The amount of time that it takes the rocket to hit the target, you can shoot 5 bullets into the target. But if the target's really close to you, right, and you want to burst them down very quickly, then you can rocket. And then you can just continue using your ultimate. But I wouldn't suggest you be that close to an enemy if you're using your ultimate. Depends on the situation. But yeah, there's no point for you to use your rocket on this Zana. She's basically dead. So don't use your rockets on her. Save it for, let's say, the Ashe. Right? You wasted it there. There's this Ashe here, right? You see her? You shot a few damage. How much health does she have? She has 2 bars left. You can technically shoot a rocket right here and then blow her out, and she probably will die from that, right? So yeah, that's one thing that happened. Don't use the rockets. They don't auto aim anymore, so you can technically throw it at the ground and then you can do damage. Secondly, right here, you jump down. Do not jump down when you get high. Don't jump down whenever you have your ultimate. Even if you want to go and chase a target, it's most of the time not worth it. I've done this so many times to the point where I'm just like, how many times have I jumped off and actually made it really, really worth it? I would say maybe about 2 out of 10 times. It's like only if it's a 1v1. If it's a group situation where there's a team fight, where there's a team fight going on right here, it's almost never worth it for you to give up your high ground if you have it already. Because when you use your ultimate, right, and targets are hiding behind, cover, you holding this high ground position puts them on the defensive. It's very, very good that you're up here, because what you're doing is you're forcing them into positions that they don't want to be in. Even if they might be LOSing you, they're paying attention to you a lot. As long as you're still here and you're just spamming down on them and not really hitting all the targets, as long as you're doing this, you're being aggressive from the high ground, they can't poke out and they're paying attention to you. So then the rest of your team can come and clean up. However, if they see you drop down, then you're giving up your advantage. And then they're like, oh, okay, he's not too dangerous anymore, because you lose your line of sight anyway, right? That's one, you lose your line of sight. And also, by the time you get here, by the time you run here and you see the line of sight of the Ashe, your ultimate's going to be gone. It's going to be done, right? See here? Jump. See? It's over already. By the time you drop down, your ultimate's gone. So it's not worth it for you to ever jump down. Unless the target is like right below you, right? Let's say there was a Hanzo or there were like 2 people right below you. right? And you really, really need to get them because they were like the two people in the back. It's worth it for you because you can get 2 kills, right? And you can't see them. If you jump down, you get those 2 kills. Yes, it's worth it. But if it's just this Ashe right here, you don't really need to jump down because you're not gonna get her in the first place, right? So there's that, giving up the high ground. And also, if you didn't notice, there was an ultimate from your Sigma at the same time. So if you stay on the high ground, right here, yeah, you see this purple? I saw the purple circle come up, right? If you look right now, this is their team in the air. This is their team in the air. Their team is actually being pulled up by your Sigma. So your Sigma is using his ult. So technically, you could have just stayed on the high ground and just looked the other direction and made use of your ult, right? So if you want to see it in full action right here, just take a look on the right side. You'll see that the Hog, and also I think the other Sigma just got slammed down. And then they ended up dying. So just stay on the high ground whenever you use your ultimate. It's the best thing for you to do as soldier. Don't be eager and jump down. You're a little trigger happy, I feel like, when you play soldier. At least in your position wise, you take very aggressive positions, or you give them up too easily. Nope, bad. One thing here against Hanzo, doesn't matter what hero you play, never go into an enclosed area, because he can have sonar. If he has a sonar arrow right here, he can see this entire area when you walk in. So it doesn't matter if you're Tracer, doesn't matter if you're Soldier, Ana, anybody that's one-shotable, I guess, you don't want to go into it. This is like a death trap for you, because Hanzo can see where you're coming from, and he can predict it. See, he's already, yeah, I think he just threw it down right there. See, he's already pulling back. He's already pulling back his arrow. So by the time you poked out, he saw you already. So he definitely had sonar on you already. Even if it was one shot, you couldn't react to it. Can't react to it. Hanzo, he's very scary in an enclosed area. You can't really do anything about that. I would say you just have to back off. You have to back off. There's no point for you to try to run in and try to kill him. You most likely have the advantage. Okay. So yeah, one thing I wanted to look at that again because you were jumping a lot. Like a lot. It's kind of irritating. Just a little irritating to see somebody jump so much. Because jumping makes you an easier target to kill, right? It makes it so that your trajectory is able to be predicted, right? So if somebody is jumping, like let's say this is a target, right? And he jumps this way. Where's his location going to be? You know he's going to be moving in this direction, so you're very easy to predict. All they have to do is put the crosshair here, and as soon as you get here, bink, you die. So jumping is very bad. Don't jump whenever you're trying to go against somebody. It's okay to throw a jump and then like throw a random jump, but don't just keep jump. This is what you're doing. You're jumping. Jump. Right? It makes you such an easy target to kill. Especially if you're going against projectile, you're gonna die. So that's like another thing. Especially against projectile. It's the worst thing for you to jump. They're just gonna nail you every single time if you keep doing that. Especially when you get to the higher levels, you're gonna be really easily predictable with your movement. Alright, you're kind of jumping around, being really, really aggressive here. I think you need to slow down, kind of think a little bit about your positioning. Back to the same place. You forgot about the Genji, maybe? Maybe you forgot about the Genji? I feel like you're always on the go. It can be a good thing, but if you have to be putting thought into your actions. Because it looks like you're just running around with your head cut off like a chicken. Because right here, you're just like, okay, so what about the Genji? Like the Genji, if the Genji was shooting at you, you can go high ground, right? So anyways, slow down, think a little bit, and I think you will make better decisions instead of, because you basically just jump down, you went all the way back up again. And even Genji can climb walls too. So anyways, once you get this close to a target though, this is a really good time for you to use your rockets, right? He's this close. He's this close to you. You should definitely use your rockets, right? Of course, it depends on how fast the Genji's reactions are, but most of the time, I would spam into him just a little bit to make sure that he uses his deflect. But if you're pretty sure he doesn't have his deflect, then I wouldn't be afraid to use your rockets on him. Especially if he's that close, right? If he's that close, you probably would have been able to hit him and done a lot of damage and make him back up at least. Alright, grabbing the high ground. Oh, no idea where that hog came from, but he's there. I guess he was on high ground as well with the Genji. Okay, so I'm assuming you're waiting for the Genji. Oh, you just barely missed him. Just barely missed him. Now you can see his health bar because we're in a review, but when you were in game, you wouldn't be able to see this because I'm assuming you didn't see it. If you saw it, you would have waited, right? So, but your timing was just a little bit off. Okay. Kind of a weird place for you to be as well. So like when you're backing up and you're trying to reposition, this may or may not, this is probably, I don't think this would be a good position for you because there's really no way out for you, right? Yeah, you can get a kill on the Ana. That's because when you're here, yes, it's possible. But then think about it. Once you kill her, right? Where can you go? You're on low ground. They have the high ground advantage. Right? In order for you to get through, you have to jump down. You have to either go through here or you have to go all the way to the right side. Either way, you're going to be stuck, right? Because they have the high ground. They're here, they can be looking down on you. Any entrance that you come from, they can pick at you. And you're on the low ground. There's not much you can do. The only viable thing that I really see you can do is you can go to the high ground on the right side. But that's going to take forever. And even then, if there's a Roadhog here watching, what are you going to do? You can, I guess you can build your ult off of him. But it's not a good position for you to be constantly here on the low ground, even if it's behind them. And also you use your ultimate on the Ana again, when she was 1 HP. Right? She was 1 bar. 1 tick. All you needed was 1 bullet. 1 bullet. And you could have killed her. Now, a couple of things. If you were able to get another kill after with your ultimate, then it might have been okay, more worth it. But the fact that you only needed 1 bullet for this Ana, and I don't think anybody else is in range for you to deal damage to them, you're basically using your ultimate just to get that 1 bullet to kill the Ana. It's not very efficient. It's not very efficient at all, right? I would just try to use 1 bullet to kill the Ana, and if you kill her, you're done. You don't have to use your ult. You don't have to, because it looks like you're trying to aim for everybody here. Okay, just think about it. First of all, you are on the low ground. You're on the low ground, right? You're on the low ground with your ultimate. That is the worst place for you to use your ult as soldier. The worst place. Because imagine if there was a guy up here. It is the worst. Unless, of course, it's an open area and there's nowhere to hide behind, then sure, that's fine. But if there's like all these walls all over the place, right? Just think about it. If a guy was up here and you popped your ult, what would he do? He would sidestep. Boop, crouch. He would LOS you, right? What happens if the Ana was actually like at the edge here and you started to use your ult and she was full life? She can jump down. Boop. Right? There's too many ways that people can hide when you're on low ground for you to actually use your ult successfully. Now, if you were on high ground, think about it. If you're on high ground, what happens when you use your ult? It's harder for people to hide behind walls because you can actually see over the walls if you are high enough, basically, right? Let's say you were, I can't really figure it out from here. There isn't really a good spot right here. But right, because technically when you're on high ground and if somebody's trying to hide behind a smaller wall, you can shoot over the wall and you can still see them. But if you're on low ground, you can't do it. So it's also really bad for you to just use your ultimate on low ground, especially if you don't have any targets really to shoot except for just this one Ana. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. So you got a little bit of damage on him, not on the Roadhog. Yeah, you basically just got it for the Ana, and that wasn't really worth it for you at all, to be honest. Could have been saved for, like, at this moment maybe, perhaps. I would say even then would have been better at least. You're still jumping a lot. Okay, so instead of, there's another jump. Okay, so here's one thing that I want you to do. So instead of jumping and making yourself an easier target, I want you to practice crouch spamming instead. Crouch spamming is much more efficient when it comes to avoiding shots. Because when you crouch 80-80 spam, basically you push A, which is left, and D on the right. If you crouch an 80-80 spam at the same time, your body kind of moves in a motion where your head bobs up and down. It's almost impossible for the enemy to kind of predict and to aim at. So whenever they shoot at you, they kind of have to guess, right? That is much better than jumping. What I want you to do is, instead of, okay, first of all, what you have to do is you have to make left alt. So let me see if you can see this. So your left alt button, which would be this one right here, right? Your left alt button next to your space. I want you to make that an alternative for crouching. So I know you have control, right? You have your control as crouch normally. And then I want you to make your left alt also crouch. So what you can do is every time you have the urge to jump and jump, right? With your space, with your thumb, right? This is what you're going to be doing, right? You're spamming space all the time. Spam, right? But think about it. Now, what I want you to do is, instead of pushing your space button, I want you to move it over a little bit. And now this is your alt. Now push the left alt button and start crouch spamming instead, right? It's not that hard, because what you can do now, instead of doing this, you just move your thumb over on the inside. You can still 80-80 spam, right? And crouch, and jump if you need to. You actually don't have to move your hand to do it, right? Crouch, 80-80, crouch. It's very, very useful, because it doesn't make it so that if you try doing crouch with your pinky, right, it's just going to be in a really weird position to try to do it. So what this does is it forces you to kind of stop jumping, right? Just whenever you think about jumping, I know it's a habit, just jump, push the alt button instead and start crouching. That will be better than jumping. Okay, that's the first start. And then once you start doing that, once you start implementing that, then I want you to continuously 80 spam at the same time, and just try to, like, here, I can show you in game actually. That'll be better for you to do it. I think that'll be a lot better to show instead. So it's gonna look kind of funky when you do it, when you're in game, but that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to look weird, because the weirder it looks, the harder it is for your enemy to hit you, usually. So let's say you're a soldier, right? Instead of jumping, right? Instead of doing this, all you gotta do, move your thumb in a little bit, and you can start crouching. Like that. Okay. It's very, very simple, right? See? From space to crouch, right? Very simple. It's very close, and you can switch between either or, right? And now when you're ready to start implementing 80-80, right? A, D, A, D, then you start pushing all three of them alternating. ADS, 80 alt, 80 alt, 80 alt, like that. Start starting like that. Now, if you look at the screen, you look like you're jittering all over the place, right? Because you are. But what you don't see is that your head is, whenever you crouch down, right? And you crouch down, you go up, and you go down like this. So you're kind of like bobbing your head like this. And it makes it really, really hard for you to hit when you do that. But as you can see, your shots are kind of, they're still staying in the same area, right? It's not that hard to aim. So it's very, very beneficial for you to always do that instead of jumping. Okay, I want you to practice that. It's one of the biggest things that actually make you a harder person to kill. It's much, much better in my opinion. Once I learned how to do that, I was able to stop dying to, like, stupid stuff. Well, I mean, I still die to stupid stuff, but you just survive a lot more. Okay, so change your space, or change from jumping to crouch spamming, and I can guarantee with more practice, and with enough practice, you will find yourself surviving a lot more. So do that, please. All right, so let's get back to the game. Sorry, that was a long, I mean, that took a lot of explanation, but I feel like that was very important. I really have to stress that. Crouch spamming is a million times better than jumping. Okay, hook is down. Random rocket. So you get very distracted, I see. Whatever is in front of you, you kind of forget about it for a little bit, and then you focus on something else. And after that, then you focus on something else. I feel like there isn't any consistency in target prioritization for you. And whenever you see something, you just go to the next thing, right? Because right here, you shoot them, and then you shoot a random rocket here. I think you're trying to go for the spawn for the Ana, but first of all, it's not useful at all, because even if you get a rocket on the Ana, all you're going to do is damage. You can't kill the Ana. She can just heal herself. So it's wasted, right? You don't want to just deal damage. You want to kill people with it. Especially if you're like kind of in this aggressive mode right here, right? There's a hog below you, right? And you want to use it on something that you can actually deal damage to and kill. Like that, it would have been really nice for you to have it for that Genji, right? You could use it, you rocket punch, and after that, then you do some damage and try to kill him. Don't try to go for all these lucky shots, especially if they don't have a chance of getting any big value out of it. And I kind of want to see you focus a little bit more. You keep going back here, which is okay, but there's no, it's not the best spot for you to be at the moment. And you're kind of just chilling there. I think you should be a little bit more aware of what's going on, because you see all these people here, right? You saw all of them there. The fight is kind of happening near the payload already, right? Everybody's fighting here. You got some people here on, you got one person on the point, right? Like, you already know that they're like under the bridge. You know they are already under the bridge. When would they kind of back up all the way? There would be no point for them to back up all the way unless your team was pushing really, really hard forward. But then all you gotta do in order to figure that out is just to glance over there and then back up. Well, glance backwards, right? I don't see a lot of like you waving around and see where your team is or knowing where your team is. So it looks kind of just like you go to a random place, check anybody's there. Nope. Go back here, check anybody's there. Nope. And you focus on what you only see. So I want you to kind of just, yeah, again, slow down. You got to think about where the enemy team can be, right? Because it's like you're just going into these random areas and then hoping that somebody is there, and then you see it and you shoot them, right? And this is kind of like what that game sense is. Knowing where the enemy team is or predicting where they are, right? And using information from your team and their position to kind of predict where the enemy is going to be. And that's what people call game sense, right? Instead of just seeing and shooting and just like shooting whatever's on your screen, like using the sound and also using the position of your team compared to the enemy fire, you can kind of predict where they're going to be at. So that's very important when it comes to soldier, because as soldier, you don't want to go random places and then hope people are there. You want to go there and then make sure that people are already in that area, so then you can pop your visor. Because if you're in the wrong position and you don't have space or time to use your visor, you're going to be screwed, right? It's going to be a waste of time. So just slow down a little bit. Slow down a little bit, kind of make decisions based off of what you hear. And I don't know if you guys are calming, that's the thing. I don't know if you guys have comms in your game. It's a little bit hard to tell because nobody's really talking. Oh wait, that's right, because this is a replay. So nobody's really talking. But yeah, I want to see you do that. I want to see you make a little bit more intentional decisions on where you want to go instead of just like randomly going places. You'll see how your decisions really affect your gameplay. And having intention is always very, very important. That was kind of weird. It's kind of risky. I had the hair on the back of my neck kind of stand up doing there because you weren't looking. You weren't looking. You looked here, boop, and then you looked away. So whenever you're crossing a gap as Tracer, especially if you're not blinking, if you're just walking, right? Because I understand right here is okay. You don't have to look right here, right? Because you're blinking, blink. Okay, you don't have to look because you just crossed the gap. But when you're here, you have to look. You have to look because they have line of sight of you. They have line of sight of you, right? Whenever you are crossing an open area and there is a chance that the enemy team can see you, you always look towards the fight. Always look towards the fight. There's no point for you to be looking this way. There's no point, right? What are you going to find here? You're not going to find anybody here. Nobody hides here. There's literally no point. So what you can do is just look, whenever you're crossing, doesn't matter what map it is. If there is a less chance of anybody or of people being here, look to the point where there's going to be people. Okay, so you know that if anybody's looking at you, and you can tell if you're gonna get shot, right? So don't try to keep your eyes on the main fight at all times, unless you know you are 100% safe. But even then, that's very, you can't tell if you're 100% safe. Really, you're never really 100% safe because you don't know where they are, right? Another way, very aggressive position. Couple of things that you can do. You can flank as Tracer. You don't have to go towards the front. You know that they're going to be shooting towards this area. It's kind of a death trap, right? So if you try to blink as Tracer, use your mobility to your advantage. If you blink twice, once and then twice back towards this way, you're using a lot of cooldowns to kind of get past them. But then they're going to be really close by to you either way. And the fact that you guys are pushed back and that you're not making any, you know, guys aren't pushing forward, they can just kind of turn around and they can get to you, no problem. If your team was right here already and fighting here, then I wouldn't be against you just double blinking towards the back. But if you do that from this location, it's a bad idea because they can chase you and your team isn't there to support you. You can't blink towards this way either because it's very dangerous when you blink that way and then the entire team is right here, right? You can kind of guess this is where they hold. This is very popular for Eichenwald holding. So one thing I like to do is I like to be here, right? Or you can go towards this way. So two different ways that you can go, right? So one way is you can go down here, go in here, and you can at least see what's going on and see if anybody is like, you know, looking at you in this direction. If they're not, you can blink in and then blink out and up the steps. That's one way. Or if you see that it's clear, you can blink towards twice and you can see. From here though, once you poke your head out and you stand right here, right? Let's say you are currently here and you stand here, and once you stand here and then you see these people here, your head's gonna get shot off. So you can't see anything. You can't poke out because they're already looking in this direction, right? What are the chances that people are looking in this room? Yeah, probably one person's looking instead of 5 or 4. That's a better chance, right? You want to go where people are less likely to look at you, not here. So you either go towards this door, or you can go up here and you can blink across this bridge, 1, and then blink again, go back, and then you can blink down the steps. All right, that'll take like two blinks, maybe 3. And also the thing is, once you are up there, you can see if there's a hog there, right? If you're on that step that I said, if you see this hog, well, don't blink there and you just drop down, go behind you, go into that room, and you're fine. So you just have more of a vantage point to see what's going on than being right here. If you're right here, you're just like, you can't see shit. You poke your head out and then you're gonna die. So you kind of want to be, when you go in, you want to keep your options open. You want to keep your options open. You want to get a better view of what's going on in the entire game rather than just tunnel visioning and saying, oh, I want to go this way, or I can only go this way, right? You want to be able to choose where you want to go, right? Because right now you're kind of stuck. Okay, where do I go? Well, the only way to go is forward now. Okay. Okay. Lots of aggressiveness from you as Tracer. I'm saying that, again, you're playing this soldier, you're a Tracer the same way you're playing soldier. You're being very aggressive, and then whenever you see somebody, you engage on them right away without really thinking. So think about it. You're down on recall. You use your recall after you got hooked and you missed, right? 1 blink, 2 blinks, and 3 blinks. You use 3 blinks and you're still in the fight against a full HP, well, quarter HP Roadhog. All he needs is 1 shot to kill you. You're not going to be able to kill a Roadhog, right? You did dodge a lot of his shots though. Good job with those blinks. But are you going to be able to kill him after that? I don't think so, right? You can also keep track of how many shots Roadhog has. I think you got him on the 5th shot, or he used 5 shots on you. So technically, he could have killed you with his last shot. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had actually another shot left. But that last shot right there before he huffed and puffed, he could have killed you. So you're staying in the fight for too long, right? Dodge, dodge, dodge. Those 2 blinks should have actually been for you to try to get out, because you're still in the fight. You're counting on your team to come and rescue you. If your team didn't come in, this Roadhog would have been boop. You would have just huffed and puffed. You would be at 54 HP. You would have no recall, no blinks. He could just poke back in one more time and shoot you once and you're dead. Okay, so be a little bit more mindful in your cooldowns. You can go like this, dodge, dodge, but at this point you gotta get out. You gotta get out. You can't stay here. You gotta just you gotta ditch it. So what I would do, get hooked, recall. Okay, maybe you can be a little bit aggressive on him. See how low he is. Not very low, right? Okay, at this point, 54 HP. You have one blink. Use this blink to get out. Just back up towards this way, behind you. Just go backwards. Just get out. You can't be here. Don't be here. Right? Yeah, on a 1v1 situation, you're gonna die. At least don't be in the front line, is what I would say. Because he's focusing you. Right? If you hit any of those last shots, you definitely would have been toast. All right, I know I'm stopping a lot, guys. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of things that I'm seeing, which is good. Good. The more things that I see, the better. It means that you can improve more. Okay. First of all, you're still jumping a lot. Okay, that's one. And you're blinking a lot. Another blink. So you're blinking unnecessarily. There really isn't a reason for you to use all of your blinks like that. So what are your blinks for? Either to cross gaps or to get to the fight faster. I mean, either to avoid attacks or to get to the fight faster. Those are two things, right? Mostly it's to avoid damage. Okay. Or you can reposition, I guess, for better shooting, but you're not really doing that. I'm assuming it's just by nature. It's very natural for you, or it's by muscle memory, right? You shoot, and then you reload, blink, shoot, reload, blink. You don't need to. Look at it. You kill this guy. No, soldier's not even looking your direction, dude. He didn't even know he doesn't even know you're around. He's not shooting at you. Nobody's shooting at you. Nobody knows you're here. So that's a waste of a blink. Shoot. Another waste of a blink. So you're using these blinks when nobody's paying attention to you. You should only use your blinks when you think the enemy knows you're around or when they're looking at you, right? Because right now you're down 2 blinks for no absolute reason. Okay. In the long run, you're gonna run out and you only have 1 blink left. And if this fight went on a little bit longer and you went in like this, you probably might not have been able to last very long. So a lot of the stuff that you're doing, I see, not only when it comes to like positioning and just like target prioritization, it's just like everything you're autopiloting right now. You're basically autopiloting. You're not really thinking. And I'm sorry to say that, but that's how I feel. I feel like you're just going in, you're just going ballistic and just like, oh, you see people and just blink and you shoot. Yeah, okay, like right there. There's no point. You're blinking versus an immortality field. Right? You told me to be really hard on you. Yeah, you're blinking against a stationary target that does no damage to you. For what reason? What's an easier way for you to deal with the immortality field instead of blinking towards that direction? Because first of all, when you're shooting the immortality field, it's very important for you to kill the immortality field, yes. But you also have to keep in mind that other people are going to be shooting at you at the same time, right? This guy's not just gonna let you shoot it for free. He's gonna be shooting at you too, right? He's gonna be shooting at you. So what's the best thing for you to do? The best thing for you to do is to shoot this while still being out of line of sight of the Baptiste, right? So what's the best place for you to be at? Right here, on this little corner right here, in this area. If you stay here, you can crouch behind this wall. He can't shoot you over the wall, and you can still see the immortality field, and you're fine. But instead of jumping, blinking, doing a trick 180, whoa, I'm cool, and then killing the immortality field, and then he did damage to you, and now you're low on health, and also use your recall. Now, if you stayed behind the wall, you could just shoot that thing for free. You didn't have to use a blink. You didn't have to use a recall. And now you would be at 2 blinks and also a recall, and also you can engage at the same time, right? Because now you can't really engage. You can technically with 1 blink or 2 blinks, but that's very risky for you to do so. Right? You don't want to be using your cooldowns unnecessarily, and especially against immortality field. Always, right? My my rule of thumb when it comes to immortality field, in any hero, doesn't matter what hero. If you see immortality field, try to line of sight as many of the other people on the enemy team as you can while killing the immortality field. You don't want to be putting yourself in the open while doing so. Okay, right here is the perfect spot. First of all, if you put yourself here, now bridge can shoot you. Anybody on the bridge. Imagine there were 4 people here, right? If there were 4 people here, all 4 could shoot you while you're killing this, when in reality, you could have just stayed in the most safest position possible and then shoot it from this area, right? So be mindful of what's going on and like what your goal is and try to do the goal efficiently, right? You're also jumping as well, a lot. So if you jump, it could be that you were trying to back up, but maybe you jumped too much. You were jumping and then you saw the immortality field and you jumped. And so you're moving forward again and then you couldn't stop, maybe. But that's another reason for you to not jump so much. Because once you keep jumping, you can control your movement very, very little. It's not very efficient in changing speeds as well. Right? I mean, you are winning these fights, but they are still mistakes. Right? Even if you guys are still winning the fight, they are still mistakes. It's going to bite you in the butt later. A higher level. Okay. You turned just a little bit. This is probably just kind of blink distance. Knowing your blink distance. I'm pretty sure you kind of knew a little bit, or maybe you got distracted by the Baptiste at the same time. You probably saw the Zen, and you're like, oh, I'll shoot the Zen. And then you blink forward, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm assuming that the Zen is at this position, so I'm trying to do a 180. But you should try to do a blink melee either way, right? So right here, EMP Eclipse, he was very close, and you actually blinked at the perfect distance. You were right in his face. You could have meleeed him before you recalled. Always melee before you recall. Doesn't matter which direction you're looking at, just make it a habit to do it. But you turn to this side, right? And you're 6 health, and then you recall. So, and also I don't think a melee happened. Yeah, a melee didn't happen. So make it a habit that whenever you blink and recall, you always try to fit in a melee. I don't know how much life he was, but he might have actually died, possibly. I wouldn't say though, but at least it gets a little bit of extra damage in, right? Blink, melee, and then recall. Don't ever just blink and then recall. Always fit in a melee, because you can cancel the animation with your recall. Even if it doesn't look like you meleeed him, it will go through. So McCree, even if he's in the air, he's vulnerable, he still has flash, right? He still has flash. Looks like you just locked onto a target, right? So you forgot about the people on the right side. They're not going to forget about you. Apparently they didn't, right? They saw you go this way. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, there's a tracer. Forget about the tracer. Yeah, I'm not going to look around. They're going to look around. This is when their Gamesense start to come back, right? So I don't know. I guess you were waiting for somebody because you heard the footsteps. But if you could hear that it's a Roadhog, you're not going to kill a Roadhog one-on-one. Like that, at least. So you recalled. You saw them go up, right? So you knew that they were kind of vulnerable, but you chose the wrong target, right? I mean, I guess this guy would have died. Maybe you were really fast and you saw this guy's health was down, so you knew they were going to die. And you're like, ah, forget it. Kind of a risky target to go for. I would wait for them to drop down first. Okay. Wait for them to drop down and to do the damage. Because, imagine this. If you go right underneath him and then you start shooting at him, how much health is that? That's like 150 health left that you have to take care of, right? That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage, right? If you, let's say he has 150 life. If you do 149 damage and then they slam him, that's way overkill, right? You didn't need that ultimate to do that. But if you wait for him to get slammed down, then what happens? His HP goes all the way down to like this tiny little bar, and then you can just finish him off, right? That would be more efficient instead of you trying to mow him down all the way and then let the slam do the rest of the job, right? I know you did get flashed here, but you shouldn't be in such a huge rush to kind of get to this McCree here and finish him off while he's in the air, right? So I don't know if it's because you saw that it was a McCree, but it looked like you just saw a first target, one target, and whatever target you saw, you just went to it. So again, and also you killed you too. But again, like you're being too gung ho. You're being too gung ho. You need to chill out a little bit. You know that caffeine that you're drinking? Yeah, no, don't drink too much. Cut back on the caffeine. Just a little bit. Nice double kill. Okay, you did a melee recall. Nice. But you didn't have to recall. You didn't have to recall. Think about it. Okay. You kill a McCree. Or you see, okay, right here. Let's just think about this whole process. Okay. You're shooting here, you see a McCree, Hog, and a Batiste. Basically, the entire team is here. Right? There's a huge fight going on right here. And your payload is right here. Okay. And if you were keeping track of your, the kill feed, only the hamster is coming back from spawn, right? So I'm assuming you are paying attention to the kill feed while you're walking back. Only the hamster died. Okay, so let's watch it again. Everybody's alive on the enemy team. Hamster dies right now. Hamster dies. The only person that could possibly be coming from spawn is the hamster. But it takes 11 seconds from 10 seconds to spawn still. Right? So he's not going to come out of the spawn that fast, right? So it's been like 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Okay, cool. 6 or 7 seconds. He's still spawning. Yeah, he's still spawning. Why would you need a recall here? The enemy team will not be here. You can almost guarantee it because look how close your payload is. There's no reason for anybody to be standing here. Zero reason. Okay. Yes, you might be recalling just because you want to be safe, but you're at full HP. And I think you're trying to like recall just in case anybody was shooting at you, but you got to keep in mind what's going on in the fight. Right? If anybody is here on the enemy team, they're throwing the game. Yeah, basically, because they're not on the point. They're not fighting. Because this fight has been going on for like 10 seconds already. If they're still here, I'm sorry, they're throwing your game. Okay. So you're basically, you're safe here. Okay, so don't waste your recall like that if you don't have to. Very unnecessary. Again, autopilot, it looks like. Going in, get the kill on the hog. Autopiloting, blinking in, aggressive. Don't need to do aggressive. One thing I would have done, get the kill on the hog, right? Stay right here. Shit, sorry. You just gotta stay right here, dude. Like, right at this spot. Stay right here. Why? Because the payload has to come through this way. If they are right here, if the enemy stays right here, they can't really contest the payload. They have to push through this way, past this wall, right? Now let's say they pass through this wall and you're here, chilling, waiting for somebody to walk by with your pistols aimed at head length or head height. You could literally one-clip somebody in the head as they're coming through. What are they focused on? They're focused on getting on the damn freaking payload. They're not going to be looking, oh, is there a tracer here? Or is anybody here really? Oh, no. They're not going to do that. They're focused on getting their ass on the payload. So they're just going to run in and just try to touch it. While you can sit here and just say, and just kill them. Right? You got 3 people already. Good job. Nice. But unnecessary blink, unnecessary blink. And then you blink yourself into a Torb turret, giving you 0 ult charge and 0 value. Yes, you killed it, but your health is down. And since you used your recall too early, right? You used your recall earlier when you were back in their spawn area, when you didn't have to. But now it would have been a good time for you to use it because you're low on HP and that health pack is gone. I don't know if you saw that, but that health pack is gone. Yeah, there is no health back there. So, all right, this is the importance of keeping your cooldowns whenever you need it, because Tracer is so fragile. You need your cooldowns when you want. You want to use your cooldowns whenever you need to use them. Now you just got to be a little bit. I would say you have to be pretty fast knowing when to use your cooldown, but you're too fast. You're just using it, right, without really much thought. So You use your recall, but you're not going to get any HP. Why? Because if you take a look at the amount of damage that you have taken, one way that you can tell very easily, if you look at your HP, at that current moment, and if you have more than 3 seconds here, the next time you recall, you will not be able to gain that health back. Okay, so next time, whenever it's just like, okay, I want to, like, you go into a fight and you start taking damage, and then after that, then your recall is on cooldown still, and it has 5 more seconds. That initial damage that you took at the very beginning of the fight, you're not going to be able to recall that damage. Why? Because recall only rewinds you back 3 seconds. So in order for you to regain that health back, you have to have less than 3 seconds. Okay, so all you got to do is go like this, right? In these random fights, okay, okay, boom, stop, glance here, greater than 5, recall will not gain any life. That's it. 3. Now you would have to recall at this moment in order for you to gain, or you would have to have taken the damage at this moment to recall, because in 3 seconds your recall will be up, and then once you use it, then you'll gain your health back, right? So anything after this time, you will get your health back by recall. So what I'm stressing is you wasted another recall for no reason, because you didn't get any health back. And this is super close, right? It's that Tracer and a Reaper. I don't know, you might have been able to win it right here, perhaps. I mean, it's just a Tracer and a Baptiste. If it was a Reaper and a Tracer, because if you had your recall earlier and you recalled to 100 HP, 100%, it would be 2v1. Your aim is pretty good, right? I think you could be able to at least make her recall and then put a lot of pressure, right? It's exponential the more people that you have on the point. He's alone for quite a good few seconds. So I'm pretty sure you might have been able to kill the Tracer and then after that been able to survive against the Baptiste, kill the lamp. It'll be okay. So all these micro decisions that you make, or that you should be making, really matter. Timing is everything when it comes to Tracer. You have to, when you think of Tracer, you gotta be thinking about small wins, a lot of small wins that stack up and add up and add up and add up and add up. And that's why Tracer is so hard to play. She doesn't have a game-winning kit. She used to like grab pulse bomb, but now it doesn't matter anymore, right? But she is more about making the least amount of mistakes as possible and not wasting cooldowns. The more mistakes you make, the harder it is for you to come back as Tracer or do well as Tracer. You have to pretty much be very minimal, make minimal mistakes. Or at least try not to, because you can't just go in and just wing it. If you start doing that, then everything will start adding up and then you'll start falling behind really badly. But anyway, yeah, there was that turret, right? That's that turret, you're recalled. Okay, so what should you do at this moment? Turret is in a very weird position. You can't cross this way without taking damage. You try to go behind there and try to take care of it. Well, you can kill it, but it's in a position where you won't be able to kill it without taking damage. And your cooldown's on 10 seconds. So think about it. What should you do here? If you go towards the back and you start attacking it, you're going to go down to like 120 life. Okay, and you're not going to have recall to recall that damage. So you're going to be going into this fight, the next fight, no matter what, with 120 HP. You can technically go towards the back and get that health pack. That would be okay, actually. Not too bad. But you have to use your blinks to get towards the back and then get that health back. Right? So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Okay. Okay. Right here. This is not your effective range, but this is the effective range of that because that thing has auto aim, right? It does damage to you, has perfect aim. Doesn't matter how far you are, how close you are, it's going to hit perfectly. So what I would do is close the gap as close as possible, kill it really quick, and then jump in and get that health back as soon as possible. If you keep backing up like this, 14 HP. Another 14 HP. Another 14 HP. You're at 108. All right, and now the torp goes to you. All right, so it's just like, either way, if you back up towards this way, you kind of just wasted your time because the Torb can just throw his turret right after. and you wasted a lot of time. You didn't gain any ult charge for it, and the Torp got ult charge for dealing the damage to you. So you kind of, yeah, you wasted your time on that. So right here as well, going against the Baptiste. Think about where the rest of your team is. You can see these guys because they're your teammates, right? There's a Reaper, there's a Orisa. If you start shooting from here and your team comes in, they're going to be shooting. They're going to be pincering him, right? You're going to be hitting it from two sides. Once you blink behind him, once you blink twice behind him, he can just boop, 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 walk up the stairs and he can escape. However, if you start shooting him and you stay here, right? He can't walk up towards you because you can shoot him in the head when he's walking up towards the stairs. So he has nowhere to go, right? He can't go up. So he has to kind of back out, right? He has to back out or he has to fight you face to face. And face to face as Tracer is very scary, right? But if you do this, now you give him space, right? Now he's basically on the stairs and going up already, and then he's gone, right? So you want to cut off his pathway of escape when you're playing Tracer as much as possible. Of course, you can kind of listen to see if anybody is up here, but it didn't seem like it. It was pretty quiet. There weren't any shots going on. There were no footsteps really. And another, stay here, right? You can see it. Stay right here, shoot at it, and the Baptiste can't see you. Or actually, you would stand like right. You basically can shoot it from here too. Just a little bit lower to the left. You can shoot it from here. Baptiste will not be able to shoot at you. Line of sight the targets while shooting the lamp. But, woo, you blink in here for whatever reason. I have no idea. This guy can shoot you. He has a clear shot at you, and you still have the same shot on the disc as you would have at the entrance. So there's really no point for you to blink in here. Right? You wasted 2 blinks killing that when you could have had no blinks, or when you could have used none. Right? Because think about it. That's very important. Look at how close you are to your ultimate. Right? If you used 0 blinks, you could at this moment blink, melee, get ult charge, and then stick them right now. Right? But how long do you have to wait? 1, 2, 3. About 2 to 3 seconds. Technically, you could have done it in 2 seconds, right? Let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, you could have done it in 2 seconds. 2 seconds is very, very big when it comes to Tracer because there's a lot of things that you can do, right? You could have been up here sticking already instead of having to wait and then go back up. And also they're right next to each other. But I mean, you got the kill, but I mean, it's just like that was a whiff in my book. Okay. This that's a whiff. That's a whiff if I ever saw one. Okay. Let's watch that again. Let's see how far away it was. You're looking at the ground and the guy's right here. Okay. So you don't have to rush now. I mean, if you had your blinks earlier, you wouldn't have to rush. Right? So you're putting yourself in these positions where you're just going in and just like doing all this stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's his mistake that he got killed by the ball. Right. Calm down, bro. Okay. You see a Torp there. You see a Roadhog there. You barely just got out with your life. Okay. You barely just got out with your life. You still don't have your recall. You still don't have a blink yet. Even if you did, you would have, if you use 1 blink to get in. Okay, think about it. If you use 1 blink to get in here, what are you gonna have? You're gonna have 0 blinks and 0 recalls. And then you're gonna have a fat Roadhog staring at you. What are you gonna do? Nothing. You can't. Torp might be there too. Why would you engage when you have 0 cooldowns? You never want to re-engage with 0 cooldowns, right? That was a lucky hook though, I think. A very lucky hook. But even if he didn't hook you, if he just right-clicked you and he brought you down to 5 HP, then what are you gonna do? You can technically recall that later, but you don't want to risk it, right? Why would you want to risk going into a fight without any cooldowns? So slow down. How many times have I told you to slow down? I don't know. I think about 9 times, 9 or 10 times. I think that's 8 times a little bit too much. I'm sorry. So, yeah, a little too aggressive with Tracer. What's going on here? Very bad place for you to engage from. Too much action there. You see that payload? Go on the payload. Right? You see the payload here. You see the entire fight's going on right here. Okay? The payload is juicy and alone. You know, you hear all this gunfire. You hear window being shot here. You hear your Ana. You see your Ana. You see your Orvissa. You see somebody on the other side. Right? You can assume that everybody is fighting here and that most of the people are here. Right? Or else your team would be winning the fight like no other. Because then you guys actually lost. So you guys are way behind. But they all died in this area and your team is all here. Right? If you see the payload, just at least try to push it a little bit. Right? You're not winning this fight. There is no way you're going to win this fight when you're 2 down. Or 1 down actually now. Because you guys got the support. But this payload's alone. There's nobody on it. You can't tell if anybody's on it, but at least go up a little bit. Check on the payload. If nobody's on it, then go. You can get you can get free push. Free push is very, very good. You know how I said that you're a little bit too aggressive? Now this is a little bit to the opposite direction, right? You recalled. Okay. Now, you saw that your team was down here, right? Your your whole team is here, all right? Okay. You know they're right below you. So what's the reason for you to jump all the way back? All right. Why do you have to go all the way here to get the health back? All right. You can just drop down a little bit, go to the lower level where your team was, and you get heals from there. Right? So you're way off to the side for no reason. Right? So you either A, too aggressive, or B, you just, I think, yeah, you just do whatever your first, your mind thinks about. I'll health back. All right, go this way. Right? So there needs to be awareness. There needs to be awareness. Right? And this is also a very good example of what's going on here, because I feel like right now you're kind of not sure what to do, right? Because you see this, you see your team here, 1, 2, and 3, and you're not sure where the enemy is going to be, right? So right now I can see these guys here, okay? I only see 2 people here, based off of what I see right now. But if you think about it, what happens if your team is here? Okay, so now this is where the game sense comes in and the thinking comes in for Overwatch. Okay, so if your team is down 2, right? They are basically, what is it? They are 5, right? And you have 3, technically in the fight still because you backed away. If all 3 of them are here and 5 of them are alive, where is the enemy team going to go? Right? The last time you saw the enemy team, they were up here, right? They were up here. They're not just gonna let your team run away. What are they gonna do? They're gonna try to go towards this way and try to finish you guys off so you guys can't regroup, and also they get more ult charge, right? And also it makes it so that you guys have to reset and it takes longer for you guys to get back onto the point. So what's the enemy team going to do? They're gonna push, right? They're gonna push your team. So if they push towards this way, what does that mean? That means going this way is bad because they have the high ground, and going this way is bad because, well, you're in front of them. Now, I know that you saw the Tracer and you saw the Torp here before, but thinking about the way they are, people are going to try to finish them off and they're going to be gravitating towards this way. So what's the best place for you to go right now? Either under or to the top. Now, I would say going to the top is very important. I would rather go towards the stairway on the right side, all the way on the right, because if you go up this stairs right here in the middle, right, if by any chance people are in this area, they can shoot you from all directions. They can shoot you from the front, left side, and also behind. However, if you go towards the right side, and up this doorway right here, you can see them before they can start shooting at you. Right, so this is very dangerous for you to go up here by yourself, especially if you have no information. But you can kind of guess that the enemy team is going towards this way, and the safest route for you is to kind of be on this side as they gravitate towards that way. Right, so you got to kind of think about how other people think when you play Tracer. That's how you survive. You have to outsmart and you have to outthink your opponent and kind of figure out where they would be coming from or where they would be going. Because right here, you're kind of just like chilling here, and it doesn't look like you are sure of what to do, right? Should I go to my team? Should I save them? Are they dead? I don't know what to do, right? You may not be able to save them, right? But your team is coming in. You're like, oh, okay, now it's time to go. Well, it's a really bad spot for you to go. There's a hog on high ground, right? You're shooting pellets. Just not a good spot for you overall, right? Just think about it. I think I saw an Ana back there. Yeah, see? Let's slow it down. Let's see if we can pinpoint that exact location, right? Because imagine if you went all the way around, right, to the right side. See how everybody's gravitating towards this way? The hog is on the high ground. The Ana is going towards this way. Batiste is here. Ball is here. Nobody's on the right side anymore. So the right side's free. So if you came from the right side, actually, you might have been able to get a pick on the Ana because she's alone, right? And after you get a pick on the Ana, then everybody has to jump on the high ground to contest, or they have to back up, one or the other. Okay, so as Tracer, you don't ever want to go a front line. Okay, don't always be where your team is. Don't always do that. There are some situations that you may want to do that if you're trying to go for like a combo, but even then you can still come from an angle. Tracer is not really a front to front fighter. It's usually never a good idea for you to do so. Yeah, good. What? You almost had the ball. Why'd you switch targets, bro? Why'd you switch targets? You saw, you can hear the ball go that way, right? There's no point in wasting your clip on this thing. There's literally no point. What I would have done, what you could do is he have no blinks, but you can kind of still shoot the ball afterwards. I mean, you may not have been able to kill him, but better than shooting a turret. You might have been able to kill him. That's all I can say. You might have been able to kill him, but I think I am going to stop talking about that. I say that a lot. About you kind of like losing focus on one thing and just kind of like shooting at whatever's in front of you. It happens a lot. It happens a lot to a lot of people. Okay, so, but anyways, all right. At this time, what should be going through your mind right now? Where do I go next? Where do I go next? Bunch of ways to go in. You can go this way. You can go up the stairs, or you can go towards the main. As I said before, main is bad. Lower, it's all right. Check mark. Okay. Top, check mark, check mark. Why? Because if you're going lower, this is what happens. I mean, you have time to do so too, right? You have time to walk towards the left side and you can get back up, right? So instead of just chilling here, you can just boop, 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 go up on the high ground and you're fine. You don't have to be going at the same time as your team does. But going here is bad. Once you hit about this area, you can get shot from this side. You can get shot from this side, which is the stairway, the upper stairway. You can get shot from this location on top, right? And also you can get shot from this side. So you can get shot from 4 angles when you're walking up here. So in order for you to cover all areas, you literally have to walk up and do a 180 and just like make sure you keep all eyes. And that's a lot of work, right? And at any moment, anybody can come from a different angle and start shooting at you if you're not watching, right? Look at this. Perfect timing, or worse timing, I guess, by you, right? But you also didn't even check this area, right? This is your angle. What if somebody was over there on the left side, left side, next to the door? They could have been there, right? But yeah, okay. So this is why going up here is bad. I saw that put a few bullets into him, just a little bit. Not enough to really hurt him too much. He's still, that's like 20 damage, 20 damage. Kind of scary for you to re-engage without a recall, because he has the advantage, right? You have a cooldown, big cooldown down. You used a blink and also a recall. He has not used anything yet. If he times it right, and if you're in this fight right now, and he shoots at you, takes off 50% of your life, right? You have to back out, and he can recall, right? You can use the health pack, yes, but it's still really scary for you to re-engage, right? Because what happens if he actually dropped down behind you and took the health pack? He could do that, technically, right? If he's fast enough, you want to assume he's better than you, right? So what happens if he shot at you, took off your life, then blinked behind you this way, and then down the stairs, right? And then took the health pack. Then what? You're screwed. You're dead. You can't do anything, right? He has more cooldowns than you, and also you're low on health, right? You guys are kind of about the same on HP, but he has the jump on you because he knows where you're coming from, right? If you have no recall, you want to be on the defensive. You don't want to be on the offensive. Because if it were me on this Tracer, I would just bring your health down a little bit, blink past once, twice, take the health pack, and then not even use a recall. Because where would I be? Where would I be? So technically, if you were at 78 HP, right? And he was blinking already, blink, blink, took the health pack, you would be at full HP. Where would you be? You would be at 78 HP, no recall, and 2 blinks. I would technically have one more blink, and 1 recall. Basically another full health pack. You can guarantee that he will win that fight, right? So it's you're being very aggressive here at this moment, right? And even then, even if you got that health pack, right? Even if you got the health pack, you have 1 blink, and he didn't even use a blink yet. Oh, I think he didn't use a blink yet. I didn't see him use a blink. All right, this is the Tracer versus Tracer fight. Whenever you're going Tracer versus Tracer, you have to keep track of their cooldowns. So how many blinks has he used? 0. He used a recall. You haven't seen him use a blink yet. So imagine if the hog wasn't there. Okay, just think about it. Okay, recall. Now, he used a recall. He's technically at 150, just like you. Okay, but he has 3 blinks. You are about to have 2. And you are going upwards towards him. You're technically at a disadvantage for this fight. Okay. 2 blinks versus 1 blink. And he is on the defensive. Okay. Just think about it. If you were able to bring him down to 75 HP and he has 2 blinks, then you have 1. Are you going to be able to catch up to him? No. He probably has 3 blinks actually, and you're about to have 2. Sorry, right? You're about to have 2. He has 3 still. He didn't use any blinks. Okay, he's on the defensive, meaning he can retreat. He has more cooldowns to retreat with and the position to retreat with. So even if you brought him very, very low, you won't be able to keep up with him. So this is a fight that you cannot win, statistically, unless you one clip him like a god. But yeah, okay. So you always got to think about what the enemy Tracer has versus you. If you guys are even, then go ahead and take a fight, right? You guys are even on health, but not even on cooldowns, by far. It's a big difference. And also the positioning, right? You're going to be, he can just run back to his team. If he wants to blink twice, boop, boop. Hey, look, my team is there. What are you going to do? You're not going to chase him down and kill him when the team is there either. Right? He's very close to his team. If I was out in the open, like right here, in a 1v1 situation, and you guys were like all out here by yourself, then yeah, maybe you can do a 1v1 situation because he can't really run that far, right? He can takes a while for him to get back to his team, but his team is right there, right? So you got to think about that at the same time. There's a lot of things that you got to keep track of when you're playing Tracer versus Tracer. So yeah, I'm being very analytical. It's a lot to take in at once, but that's stuff that you gotta be thinking about when it comes to Tracer versus Tracer, right? So also right here too, it's not shooting at you, right? It's super low, you can just run up to it and melee it at this point. You might as well. Instead of blinking, you wasted a blink. And since you didn't melee it, it's still shooting at you. Somebody else shot at you as well because you're up here. These guys shot at you, right? So you wasted a blink and also a lot of time. And now you have to recall. So you waste 2 cooldowns when you don't really have to. And that also makes it really hard for you to engage after this, right? You only have 2 blinks, you have no recall, you have no way out. But did you see the Ana here? There's a Baptiste here that you saw, Torb. I heard the Ana. Right now you see the Ana. Right there. How much HP does she have? She's 3 bars. I would say that's roughly about 60 HP. You can do 60 damage, right? With 1 clip. Why not go for the Ana instead of the Baptiste? Right? For Baptiste, if you don't know if his lamp is down or if he has his lamp, never go for the Baptiste first. Or never try to, you know, stick him or anything like that. Because you're focusing him hardcore. So let's see what happens first. Okay, so you were going for a stick. Okay. I was thinking about why you would go for the Baptiste first. Maybe you did see the Ana, but you ignored her because you wanted to see if you can get a stick on the Baptiste, but you don't know if he has his lamp up. If you don't know if he has his lamp up, don't stick him. You always want to force it out. And once you know it's gone, then you stick him, or you stick somebody he's not watching. Prime target would be the Ana, right? The Ana's back here. She's half HP or 3 bars. She's healing the Baptiste. Baptiste is like, yo, dude, I'm just gonna go forward and kill people. And the Torb is looking this way. Nobody's looking at the Ana. She's half HP, right? She is the very juicy target right now. You can either stick her or you can 1-clip her. I would rather try to 1-clip her first, and then when the Baptiste turns around, see if he throws on his immortality field. If he does, then you stick him because he's not going to be in it. One or the other. Look how far apart they are. The Ana's here. If the Baptiste is here, right? By the time you blink in and get to the Ana, if he's still continuously walking forward, he would be around right here, right? I'm assuming the Ana is going to be around this area. If he wanted to protect the Ana from immortality field, he would have to, or with the immortality field, he would have to throw it around here. A little bit closer. That means he's not going to be in it, right? So you have to kind of gauge where he's going to be at. Of course, he might actually not walk very far, but one thing you can do is if you force the immortality field on somebody like this, and then now the Baptiste is not in the immortality field, then you can stick him, right? But since the Baptiste is not even looking at the Ana, I will just focus at the Ana first. She's an easy target, right? But besides that, I would say Baptiste should be the first to go if everybody is full HP. If everybody is full HP and everybody is like, if it's like a group fight going on and you don't know cooldowns have been used, then you should, I would say go for the Baptiste first. But in this case, yeah, in this case, or in that case, the Baptiste wasn't paying attention, right? And it was a free target for the kill for the Ana. So, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be. I have to say, I think this is the one that I talk the most. I think this is the one where I would say I probably found the most mistakes in this one than I have in a very long time. And that's good though, because a lot of them can be fixed. Very simple thing. First thing to start off with is to slow down. Slow down. You're making too many decisions too quickly. Or you're not really making the decisions, you're just kind of doing things. Okay. Think with intention. Okay. Make sure that what you're doing is for a reason. Don't kind of just wander around with your head cut off and just do whatever you see. Think about how the game works and figure out what would be your best move and not just rush into a first target that you see. Because that's basically what I saw this entire game. Target on your screen, you shot at it. You went towards it. You ignored everything else, and hopefully you got that kill or not. I think you will improve a lot if you do that. you will improve drastically. Because you've got this far doing that, I'm very surprised. There are so many mistakes that I feel like should have held you back, because you were kind of just winging it looks like. But you do have your aim to kind of help support you with that. But once you get to about masters, decisions and ult usage and stuff like that will start to matter a lot more, and that's where you're starting to hit a really big wall right now. Be a little bit more careful with your cooldown management. Try to be a little bit less aggressive with your tracer, less aggressive with your soldier. Poke a little bit more at weird angles with soldier. Crouch spam instead of jump spam. It's going to help you a million times more, trust me. And I talked about a bunch of other stuff, so I'm just going to let you go and review it, okay? So anyways, yeah, that was a long one. Throat's getting kind of dry. But yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much, Auntie Diablo. I was rough on you, like you wanted me to be. Sorry, not sorry. If you guys want to send your own replay, you guys can send it game to dibsgaming@hotmail.com. It can be a YouTube video. I would rather it be an MP4 though, so I can have better quality. But if not, this works fine. Works just fine. But yeah, send it to dibsgaming@hotmail.com, and I will try to get to it as soon as possible. Good luck, Auntie Diablo. Hopefully you learned a lot from this one. I will be looking forward to your next one when you're in Masters, right? Yeah, Masters. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Again, I will be moving. I'll be pretty busy this month, so I'm going to try to do as many videos as possible. We're kind of at the end of moving in, getting the new place, kind of like all the paperwork done and stuff. So we're going to be moving in next month, so it's going to be kind of busy for me. So I'm going to try my hardest to make as many videos as possible though. But anyways, I will be streaming on Saturday and Sunday. I normally stream Saturdays, Sundays at 1 p.m. PST, and Mondays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. PST. And I'll catch you guys then or in the next video. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.